Apparently, this Rubik's Cube method is secretly really good, but almost nobody is actually speed solving with it. A few days ago, I watched a video about something called the Lau Method. After seeing how different it was from CFOP, I started wondering, could I actually get fast using this method? So for the next 7 days, I'm completely abandoning my normal solving method and only using the Lau Method to see how much I can improve. Before I begin, here's the basic idea of what the Lau Method is. So unlike CFOP, where all 4 of your edges are solved, making the white cross, you're instead going to do something called cross minus 1, where you leave one edge alone and all the edges are oriented, but it's only a D2 away from being solved. And the second step is inverted F2L, where you first, on the very free slot, solve both of the edges on the side and both of the corners on the other side, making sure it is oriented with your edge. And then next, you're going to go ahead and solve the very next cross edge. And F2L proper, where you go ahead and do F2L just like normal. From here, you can simply just solve regular OLL and PLL. That's the basic idea of the Lau Method. Now let's actually try it.
To start this off, I'm doing an average of 5 just to see exactly where I'm at while using the Lau Method.
Oh wow, okay.
This was a lucky solve, but it gave me a 19-second average.
And now I have the Cubers AUG sheet for the Lau Method for inverted F2L. And for now, I'm going to go ahead and learn the easiest ones, followed by some slow solves right afterward, just so I could get used to it.
Learning the algorithms was actually very easy. And because not all of them are super finger trick friendly, I went ahead and made some of my own. I'm gonna go ahead and keep practicing this and see what happens on day 2. Catch you. Today, I decided that I was gonna only do solves. And while solving, I already saw a good amount of improvements in my times, going from averaging 19 seconds to 17. But for singles, one crazy thing did happen.
Oh, Now I want to show you guys exactly how that happened. The scramble is on top. When doing the scramble, just so we could do white, make sure to scramble it yellow on top of green. So these are my 3 cross edges that I was focused on. 1, 2, and 3. Since the orange edge is off to the side, I have to go ahead and look for my orange edges, which were this one and this one, which were both really good edges. So what I ended up doing first was a R prime, just so the D moves didn't affect this edge and it was already connected. And then I did a D prime, F prime, keeping this at opposites, and then doing a D, L prime, D prime to put everything in opposites. I had to go ahead, insert this edge. I noticed this pretty late, did a D2, and then this was solved. I have this last edge piece, which luckily wasn't flipped, so I didn't have to do any wide moves or rotate in order to insert it. All I had to do was this L2. Now, this F2L case, and then this one over here, which I solved like that. I just ended up doing OLL and PLL. I'm not sure if I'll ever get that lucky for a while, but I'll keep grinding and see you on day 3. It is now day 3, and I ran into 2 big problems. So starting off with the smaller problem, when doing IF2L, and we already have these 2 edges solved over here, sometimes the corners you need are not solved or in the top layer, but rather where your edges are already solved, which are right over here. But when it's 2 of them, I found it really easy to just go ahead to do a D2, R2, D2. Now I have both of these corners on the top layer. And something I discovered right this very second is if you only have one corner in the solve 2 edges area, you could put the other corner that you need right into the back if it's in the front and do a D2, R prime D2 and you have both corners. Same exact concept if it's the other way around. This corner is in the back and you could just put this one in front and do a D2 R D2 in order to bring both up. The confusion there was the number one thing that has been slowing down my times. But now for the bigger problem, there is much more to the method than I expected. So what I've been doing this entire time is after doing my F12 proper, I've been doing standard OLL and PLL, which is the beginner's version of the Lau method. The last slot, the intended method, is to either do VHLS or ZBLS in order to always have the cross on top. And for last layer, do COLL in order to get all the corners solved, or ZBLL in order to have the whole last layer done. Now, will I learn full ZBLS and ZBLL? Nah. But I already know a decent amount of COLLs and VHLS, so I'm gonna go ahead and try my best to keep things intermediate and continue learning more of those algorithms in order to do the intended method. Let's get right into that.
VHLS was actually very intuitive to learn, so it definitely wasn't hard to go ahead and pick up on. But learning COLL is definitely going to be the hard part. And I'm not going to be able to learn all of it in the next 5 days. See ya on day 4. Now day 4, and I've only been putting emphasis into doing COLL and VHLS. While only doing time solves today, I realized my recognition for VHLS and COLL is really bad. But on the bright side, I did get to learn more COLL algorithms.
In order to fix this problem, I have a really great solution. So over here, I have my CS timer setting on last slot, last layer. This right here is gonna help me get more familiar with my edge orientation on top, and this should help me recognize COLL much better.
For the rest of the day, I'm only gonna be doing this drill and slow solves, only focusing on inspection and recognition. Let's see where this gets me tomorrow. For days 5 and 6, I just straight up did solves only. I am now getting more consistent, averaging around 14 seconds, but I can't complain because I am indeed getting much better solves.
Okay, now today it is day 7 of doing the Lau method challenge. Now, although I was making many improvements with using the intended method of the Lau method, I wanted to go back to using the quote-unquote beginner method of using the Lau method, which is just me going back to the CFOP approach on last layer, just because I think I'm gonna have much better times. Let's get straight into that.
In the very start of this session, my times weren't looking really good and not too different from when I was using VHLS and COLL. I was mainly getting 15-second solves, and then something absolutely insane just happened. And just like that, I got my very first sub 10 solve using the Lau method.
Oh, wow.
I did not catch this on cam, but I did get a PB average of 5 of 12 seconds and a PB average of 12 of 13 seconds.
Now, that was a really great way to end the 7-day challenge, especially since day 1 was me getting a 19-second average, day 7 getting a 12-second average, which if you were to go ahead and ask me, I think that is some crazy progress. Now, with all that being said, here's what I got out of this. Something I really liked about using the Lau method was, 1, it's really easy to learn, and it's also really easy to go ahead and inspect far. But there's one thing I didn't enjoy too much, which is a lot of wide moves. And I think it would just low-key nerf my turning. Would I continue using this method? Absolutely. Definitely still be sticking to using CFOP, but I would like to use the Lau method for very specific scrambles, but it's definitely gonna take me a little bit more time to go ahead and get my Lau method to be the same amount of time as it would take me to use the CFOP method, which is relatively around 9 to 10 seconds. Overall, this was an absolute blast, and if you want a tutorial on how to use the Lau method or want to see a few example solves, go ahead, comment down below which one you would want to see. That is all for this video. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you really enjoyed this, and I'm gonna catch you in the next video. Peace out.